Welcome to the Daily Coffee Pro, friends. It's Valentine's Day, so I just wanted to wish all of you a happy Valentine's Day if you're watching this live. If you are tuning in on audio, I hope you've had a great weekend because you'll be getting this on Monday. So I hope no matter what the state of your life is right now that you are finding the best way to get through it and that you're happy. Today on the Daily Coffee Pro, before we get started, just a quick mention that the tickets are live for our upcoming leadership workshop that's happening at Coffee Fest in New York on the 9th of March. You can head to coffeefest.com/leadership and grab your tickets there. This is the fifth out of a 5-series discussion on mentorship on the Daily Coffee Pro. So today on the Daily Coffee Pro, we are talking about the results of the mentoring relationship, and we're focusing specifically on when that relationship goes well. We've talked enough this past few episodes on what happens when it doesn't go right. I'm just reaching over to get some tea. So if it doesn't go right, we've already spoken about what happens with that. It can get quite ugly. And if you want if you want to refer back, particularly look at episode 189, which was the last episode. But today we're going to talk about what happens when it goes well, because when it goes well, it can be fabulous. We've spoken about how you choose a mentor. We've spoken about how you become a mentor. We've spoken about the fact that not all mentors are created equal. And now we're going to look at what happens when all of those things align and the joy that the mentee and the mentor get out of that situation. I'm going to speak about it from my personal experience as a mentee and as a mentor. And I'll start as a mentee. When relationships, mentor-mentee relationships have gone well for me, I feel a sense of accomplishment. I feel supported. I feel that the wisdom that I'm seeking from my mentor is a type of wisdom that I can trust. And that comes from knowing that you have selected a mentor who will communicate openly with you, shares your values, and can be comfortable in their vulnerability of what has gone wrong. And the reason that's important is because if your mentor isn't comfortable admitting the things that went wrong with what they've done, those things can become your blind spots. Because a part of the point of having a mentor is that they help you anticipate what's coming. In the position as a mentee, I'm quite insistent that I don't bug my mentors. And the reason I take that position is because I want to push myself to learn as much as I can without somebody's help. And typically use the mentor as somebody who I go and say, so listen, this is what I'm going to do. Can you tell me what I haven't thought of? I need you to poke holes in my strategy. And bearing in mind that the mentor-mentee relationship isn't a paid relationship. Once it's paid, it moves into the realm of consulting. So, and look, there are a few different opinions on that, but that's just where I stand on this. And so when I go to them, they at least have seen that I've put a reasonable amount of effort into considering the solution and the potential opportunities for those things not to go right. And so then what typically happens with my mentor in that situation is, but have you thought of this and have you thought of that? And I had a wonderful situation earlier this year with one of my mentors when I'm a very self-aware person, which usually turns into a lot of not great things. You can get quite insecure and self-deprecating. And when it comes to you, I'm a champion for everybody else. But usually when it comes to myself, I'm usually unassuming of how capable I am a lot of the time. And this is why it's important for me to have the certain mentors that I have, because they help me pull out of that. And so when I approached one of my mentors earlier this year and was having a conversation with her about something, and this mentor, the relationship isn't it's not a formal relationship. And I mentioned the situation, and she had turned around and said, "But have you just considered that you're not that kind of person?" And in this situation, I was trying to find a way to bend myself and my personality traits in order to accommodate everybody else. And this was the first time somebody had given me permission to put up those boundaries and say, well, actually, this doesn't work for me. And that was a really pivotal time in my career. It's one of the most important things anybody has said to me in my career, because the ripple effect that had went on to apply to many, many situations. And it was hugely beneficial. It allowed me to make a decision that then went on to benefit not just me, but it ended up benefiting everybody else in the project in ways that I could never have anticipated. But I would never have had the foresight to anticipate that had I not got the wisdom of this mentor. And so mentors, when the relationship with your mentor goes well, they see more in you than what you see. They give you the confidence a lot of the time. Well, for me, it's all of the time. They give you the confidence to believe that the decisions that you're making are in fair judgment, but they also give you permission and confidence to go further than you could have thought. And that kind of guidance goes to the core of what happens when you engage a mentor. That is the role. They are like an elder, no matter what their age is, but they're an elder in your life that you go to because, as we've said earlier this week, of their wisdom and their experience. And there are times that they may not have the answers, but them working through the answers with you will teach you how to do that for yourself. And as a mentee, gosh, I'm feeling a little bit emotional just saying it. The value that I have received with regards to the way that these people's wisdom has projected me further into my own confidence has been crazy valuable. And even if you were to put a price on it, I don't even know what that would be, because there's no value that you can really put on helping someone to feel value in what they're doing. I mean, you could turn around and say, so is that worth $50 an hour? Is that worth $1,000 an hour? There are some relationships that you can't put a value on. And it's the kind of stuff that when you have the right mentor-mentee relationship, it becomes a really important bond in your life. Now let's look at it from the mentor's perspective. What does the mentor get out of it? What is the results for the mentor when the relationship goes well? There is a thing when you've been working at something for a really, really long time. If you're a certain kind of person that should be mentoring other people, whereby you hope that you've built shoulders that are strong enough to hold the people that come after you. And the payback for a mentor in a mentor-mentee relationship is to see that your shoulders are worthy and strong enough to hold the people who have asked to stand on them. And as a mentor, I'm incredibly privileged to guide people through their experiences. And I want to use the experience of one of the young men that I'm mentoring at the moment in the industry. His name's Brett. Shout out to Brett, because Brett formulates ideas. He is self-aware, he's intentional. And when he comes to me and says, so I've gained inspiration from this person and this person and this person, and this is how I want to execute on what I'm doing. I'm taking the time to formulate the idea. I'd love to spend some time talking to you about it and having you help me understand what might be a different direction I can take the idea or poke holes in it. Now, I've been mentoring Brett for somewhere around 8-9 months now, and I'm constantly mind blown by his thoughtfulness and consideration to himself and to the people around him. And the sense of pride that I get from something like that, you cannot quantify, because I can see where this young man's going into his future, and I can see the opportunities when he's ready of the people that I can introduce him to, that they could both benefit from Brett being introduced to them. Another young lady that I spoke about earlier this week that I am mentoring is Elvira. And Elvira is a superstar in the making. This is a young woman, she's a young mother, and she is a killer coffee professional. She has big plans for herself, and life has thrown her some curveballs, and she is embracing that and has taken that and found a new sense of duty in having to achieve high things so that she can be an enormous example to her daughter. And Elvira is inspiring to me. Even though I'm her mentor, it inspires me to see her step into the challenges. And if I see an opportunity that I think would be great for Elvira based on what I know she's working towards, and I make that introduction, or I'll see something and for example, Elvira's working on a bunch of alternative milk stuff at the moment. She's doing a fantastic job. And there have been some opportunities that have been presented to me that are better for her. It will better suit her career than me to put her forward for them. And she has conducted herself with the utmost professionalism, and realizes that she's not only representing herself, she's representing me, because as her mentor, I've put her forward for something like that. To watch her achieve, to watch Brett achieve, and to watch the other people that I mentor achieve things brings me a sense of pride and purpose that stretches far beyond the things I'm trying to achieve for my own businesses in my life. And so while I look for meaningful ways to give back to our community, this to me is the best and most purposeful way that I can give back to our community by cultivating a sense of direction and purpose that these young people need. And what I get out of that is nothing that you can put a value on. It's just a great feeling. It's a feeling of purpose, a feeling of pride, a feeling of connection. And when the mentor-mentee relationship exists and it is done well, that's what the mentor gets out of it. It can be frustrating at times because you're going to have to watch the people that you mentor fall. but you as a mentor have fallen. You as a person who is trying to live through life and build things have fallen as well. So that unto itself is a thing that you can support your mentees through. I find it extremely rewarding to be a mentor, and I find it extremely humbled. I'm extremely humbled that people choose to mentor me. I hope that you consider the things that we've talked about in this series about mentoring, and I hope that you found it helpful. Have an amazing rest of your day, friends. Peace, love, and peanut butter.